Hello. Thank you for joining us, everyone, tonight. I'll be your host for tonight's AMA. My name is William. I work for XD.com, and our exchange has been serving clients since 2018 with our headquarters in Dubai. We have various operation centers around the APAC region, and tonight I have a special guest for you, and he is Mr. Harsha, and the founder of Bitconey. Thank you very much for joining us
Hello.
tonight. It's a pleasure to speak with you, sir. Could you kindly tell us a little bit about your project?
Sure. Hi, William. Hi, everyone. Hey, so Bitcoin is a game reward token. So we initially have to design a game, right? So we kept that in mind. So we want to design a game that should be accessible for like almost everybody. It should be simple enough. So we are grabbing more attention to the actual mobile phone users as well as casual gamers on the mobile phones. So the idea was to bring more people or introduce crypto to more people, right? So when we looked at all the games existing, the metaverse or these NFTs or whatever they're creating currently, you have to invest something, right? You need to have a wallet, you need to deposit something, you need to buy something. So that's not a good way to bring in people who are not really into crypto, right? So if we want to grow a lot of audience or a lot of interested people into crypto, we shouldn't really ask them to, okay, invest this much money. So because there's a risk involved in it, right? So what we thought is like, why don't we create a game reward token, and why don't we make a really interesting game, right? So we thought about creating a game which involves like mining Bitcoin, right? So that's the initial core idea, saying that, okay, let's introduce mining Bitcoin in our game so that people are really doing something and earning something out of it, right? So we created this game exactly to mimic Bitcoin mining. So we'll have the blocks. So multiple people are mining each block. And once the block is completely mined, they are going to get their rewards, right? But there is, of course, a lot of fun added into that game. The games should be interesting, right? So uh, that's how they are going to earn the rewards in the game itself. And whoever want to withdraw those rewards into their wallets, they can do so, right? So they can withdraw those to their wallets, they can come trade those tokens on XT or whatever exchange they want to. So that's the core concept, and it's also giving the players, not like, we are not restricting them to like, okay, only if you invest something we are going to let you play, right? No, we are not doing that. So anybody can play the game for free and earn these rewards, right? So okay, you
So
may
there's no
ask, okay,
barrier of
how are you going?
entry.
Yes, exactly, right. So that's a genuine way that we thought, okay, let's make it a game. Let's let everybody play it, no matter if they want to invest some money or if they don't want to invest anything. It's up to their choice, right? So that's how we created this, and this is a game reward token that you will get only by playing this game, right?
Yep.
So initially, as the founders, what we did is we kept 1.125 million Bitcoin aside for the team, right? Which is believed to be mined by Satoshi Nakamoto. So that's the amount we have put aside for the team. But rest of the 19.875 million tokens are only gonna be available through this game. So players have to play, earn these, and get these tokens. So
I
that's
think you made
that's
some
what
really
we're
good
gonna do.
points. Absolutely. I think mass adoption is not
Right.
going to come by teaching people how to use their
Mm-hmm.
hardware wallets or their software wallets, and then
Mm-hmm.
tell them about their seed phrase and go to school for that. Like I did that, and that's just not for everyone. Like me trying to explain that to someone would sometimes put them to sleep. But if I talk
Yes.
about like a game where they can earn something while playing it, and then they
Right.
can actually like exchange that for like real fiat
Yes.
currency at exchange, they
Mm-hmm.
connect. And at the end of the day, the people want to have fun, whether
Yes.
you earn a profit and have fun or
Mm-hmm.
you play a game and have fun. You still, at the end of the day, you want to be
Yes. It's
enjoying
a
what you
win-win.
do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think GameFi is definitely going to be a big part of the future. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
very much for the project introduction. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself and what made you decide to make a GameFi project? I mean, that's not on everyone's to-do list in life.
Right. So the thing is, I have been a software developer for a very long time. So I have got my hands wet into crypto in 2014. Right. I was one of the investors in Bitcoin at that time, and I was involved in different cryptos, like mining some of these. Like I used to mine Doge, I used to mine Bitcoin, I used to invest in a lot of cryptocurrencies. I have seen so much since then happening, right? So it was like as an early investor or a person who is like really excited about this technology, blockchain, right? So that's how I got involved in it as an investor first. But then I thought, okay, why can't I use my software related knowledge and do something about it, right? And it's all like kind of hobbies that I did, like okay, connecting through APIs and stuff, and like doing something which is not really into the market, but as
It was
my
a whole
personal
new
projects.
world,
Yeah,
adult
right.
version of a Disney.
Right. So that's how I always wanted to do something, a project, right? Create a project. But also, I wanted to make sure that I'm not creating a project for the sake of creating a project, right? So I want it to be worth something. I want to do something new. So, as I explained before, this is what I want. So, I want to bring more people in. Excuse me. So I want to bring more people in, not making things too complex or complicated for them, right? So you can't say like, oh, it's metaverse, it's like NFTs and all these things. A regular person don't really get it. So once you start introducing uh, crypto in a simplest way to them, that's how you can think about the next step moving forward. Okay, let's make things a little more advanced. So make it in phases, step by step. So don't start something complicated at first and expect everybody to jump into your project, right?
Mhm. Absolutely.
So yeah.
I think when people hear cryptocurrencies, the first thing that think about is stock markets or
Mhm.
scams, or you see
Yes.
like all the
Hmm.
recent news that we
Right.
have. So a lot of volatility, people losing money and whatnot. But when you
Hmm.
introduce it as a game, that's a lot easier to connect.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Wonderful. I had a question I wanted to ask you. Oh, right. So for those who are listening in right now, just do keep in mind that we do have a $2,000 prize pool. For those who have any questions for Mr. Harsha, we are going to be choosing winners. Just make sure that to add your Telegram ID and have your xdx.com account opened, and yeah, get a little piece of the prize money. But that being said, let's move on to our next question. If we have any participant questions, please just prompt me. In that case, I'm just going to move on. So speaking of GameFi and a lot of new Web3 projects, I mean, the bear market is pretty much the best time to build. What else do we do
Hmm.
during a bear market? But that being said, how do you compare your GameFi Web3 project to the other ones out there? Like, so there's a famous one out there, like say like maybe something like Step In, where people buy shoes, and then in order to
Hmm.
participate you got to buy the shoe first and then
Right.
do your 10, 15, 20, or maybe 1 hour walk. Like I have a
Yes.
friend who has like dozens of pairs. So he's always swapping different shoes while he's walking. And he sent me a pair. I'm just like, I don't know if I could take the time to actually, you know, do this 15-minute walk every day. So I try my best to turn it on my when I'm going to work, but then I have to like repair it. And just, you know, it's not as fun for me than compared to my friend. But that being said, how
Mhm.
about you? What makes your GameFi Web3 project unique?
So I'm glad that you brought up Steppen. So uh, I try to get into it. Right, it's like not for every not recently I have checked, but when I tried to get into it, it was asking for an invitation code or something. And every time I try that invitation code, it says like, "Hey, somebody else used it already."
Oh
Right.
no.
So the things like small frustrating things like this for the users is one of the other things I don't wanted to have it in my game, right?
There's
So
like that
as I said,
barrier of entry. Unless you
yes,
actually buy a pair of shoes, you can't. Or the
right,
person who's sending you the invitation code, they have to buy a pair of shoes and whatnot. And in order to
yeah,
play, you have to have a pair of shoes. So even if you
right,
have invitation code, you can't play. There's so many different levels of barrier of entry that just makes the game it's looked fun from the beginning, and it's like, oh, hold on, I have to invest in this. I need special
right,
permission. Yeah, that
exactly.
definitely did put me off a little bit in the beginning.
Right. So yeah, the uniqueness you are asking about our game is that one of the things is this one, right? So there is no barrier, there is no minimum investment or something that you have to put into play. So there is nothing like that. That's the uniqueness of the game, as well as like there is. I mean, we have all the things in place, the APIs and stuff. So it's gonna be a smooth journey for the user. It's like nothing complicated. Oh, I have to do this. I have to go here. I have to grab this. Or like nothing complicated. The game itself is like simple enough, right? It's not like complicated. You have to choose so many avatars, or you can buy and upgrade things and all these things. We do have in-app purchases in the game, which are like kind of having powers, right? For example, okay, it's not the same thing to mine from a GPU when compared to mining with ASIC miners, right? So when it comes to Bitcoin mining, they have the choices. Okay, if I have money to spend and like get an ASIC miner, I can spend and I can mine more and I can get more rewards, right? It's the same thing in the game. Like if you want to, you can buy some powers from in-app purchases, and that way you're going to have more power and you might get more rewards than the other players, right? So there are things like this in the game which makes it more fun for the players, as well as like, okay, maybe if I put more, like I purchase it from the in-app store, right? Then okay, I have this powerful miner now. So it's kind of like a hammer. We have these defenses like masks, and we have these attacks like gas attacks that players need to defend from, because it's a game. It has to have like
It's kind
attacks
of
and
like an
defenses.
add-on
Right,
instead of like
yes,
an essential. Mhm.
right, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's not like we are making things complicated for the players, and like we are
Mhm.
not expecting like what we are not targeting the like hardcore gamers. We
Mhm.
are targeting the general audience. Like I have a phone with me, right? I'm a user of the phone. Like it's simple enough to install a game and start playing it when it's not too complicated,
Mhm.
asking you to do so many things like, okay, enter your I mean, whatever the profile name, and then okay, your age, this, that, all these things. I mean, we are trying to avoid everything and take the player directly into the game and letting them start playing the game and enjoying it.
So you mentioned your phone. So may I presume that the game is going to be like available to Android or iPhone
It's
users?
it's only for Android and
Okay,
iOS, so that's
perfect. I have a Pixel, so that works for me.
okay.
How
Yeah.
about PC users?
Well, that's something we thought about, but it's gonna be a different server when it when it's for the game, multiplayer game,
Mhm.
especially. So for Android and iOS, it's going to be like we are going with Unity, right? So we have
I
Unity
see.
developers. So uh, it's a total different game server that we need to maintain for this web game. So it's hard to sync the web based players activities with mobile phone players activities, and there are some complications, and we thought like, at least for this phase one, let's just concentrate on Android and iOS. So
Well,
maybe in
people
the
want to
later
play on their
stages we'll think about
PC. I see. Like I'm assuming, like if people really do want to play on their PC just for maybe for comfort, I
it.
guess they can always download an app emulator and download it
Yeah,
for
like
that.
BlueStack or something.
Yeah.
There are things like those. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Oh, so that definitely is a workaround. Absolutely.
right.
Me personally, I do enjoy PC gaming more than
Mhm.
my phone. I don't know why.
Okay.
I guess I'm just
Cool.
like old school. Maybe it's a
Uh-huh.
Canadian thing, but a lot of people, my friends, they tend to prefer the phone instead. So I do see
Mm.
gaming slowly moving toward like the mobile app
Hmm.
instead of consoles because you can just play anywhere you go. But I
Right.
think an Android is definitely a good choice. Absolutely. That
Right.
being
Right.
said, do we have any questions from any of the participants, those who are seeking to earn a prize, a portion of the prize pool? If there are any questions, please ask your questions now, and our moderator will definitely prompt your question and we'll take it up. If not, I'm going to keep moving on. So, um, games can be a little bit complicated. Just want to let all the viewers know. Oh, so we do have a question. Here we go by Adanike. So the question is, how low is the barrier entry into your platform? Most GameFi projects have a high entry, like been too expensive or complex for non-crypto users. I think we mentioned this a little bit
Covered
earlier. You
this.
could go
Yeah.
into a little bit more detail.
Yeah. Sure. So yeah, as I told before, there is no barrier of entry, and there is no minimum price that you need to spend or pay. So it's free for everybody, just like any other free games available on App Store or Play Store. So you can
So I'm
just
guessing the
download it, and you can.
mhm.
Yeah, go
The
ahead.
barrier entry in this case would probably be an Android smartphone, and I'm
Right.
sure you can find that a lot of places. If not, get one of
Not
those
just
like
Android. I also want to mention Apple and Android devices.
oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Worst case, you get a was it an iTouch, or like one of those like music players that actually has Android. That can definitely download the app and play games. So something to keep in mind. But absolutely, thank you very much for asking the question. We have a second question. Oh, if not, okay, let's move on. So some games can be a little confusing to get started. Do you have any like quick tips for new players who want to start out at Bitcoin?
Well, as I said, it's simple enough for anybody to play this game, right? So we don't have too many characters and too many properties in the game, but we will have a tutorial, just like any other game, for the first.
Nice.
I mean, the players who start the game first, right? The first time. So we will have that tutorial, and they'll easily be able to play the game.
Yeah, it sounds great. Wonderful. So, due to the tutorial, I'm assuming, is it going to be in multiple different languages or is it just going to be in English?
It's just English for now. Yeah,
For now. Sure,
yeah.
fair enough. How long is the tutorial, if you don't mind me asking?
It should be within like 30 to 45 seconds, I guess.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
So it's relatively quick, actually.
yes,
Wonderful. So,
yeah,
like, so users can start like
right,
playing the game as okay. Fair
yes.
enough. Is it would it be appropriate to assume there's going to be the game's going to be localized in other countries? Um,
Yeah, that's something we'll definitely uh, uh, do moving
mhm.
forward. But
Wonderful.
initially, we want to go with English first,
Mhm.
so we need to see the response, and if there are anything that we can improve based on the feedback from the players, then we will do that. So yeah, once the game is out, then it's a whole new different thing for us, because we need to keep building on top of it. We need to keep improvising the game. So that's something we will definitely do.
And definitely want to hash things out before you go pure international, global. Makes totally sense.
Yes.
Absolutely. Do we have any other questions for the? Yes, we do. We have one for Ainsley Dale. The question: Marketing is a central element for every project, so that everyone knows the potential of the project. What is your strategy to attract new users to Bitcoin? Thank you very much for asking.
Okay. Thanks, Ainsley. So we are um, we are already doing our marketing stuff right now. So uh, like the regular marketing, like going with Google ads and stuff, it's highly restrictive when you consider cryptocurrencies. So they don't let you advertise freely wherever you want. So we went with Coinzilla. So we have been advertising there. And we are also, like, there are two aspects here, right? One is promoting Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency. The second one is promoting our game, which is an Android and iOS game. So we need to go with the traditional internet marketing for the game itself, and we need to consider these crypto related regulations while marketing or advertising Bitcoin. So yes, we had kind of small hurdles when it came to advertising Bitcoin itself, but we currently know how to promote separately for Bitcoin and Crypto Bunny game. So yes, we are having these marketing strategies in mind, and we are currently marketing. So yeah, that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I think marketing right now in the crypto industry world is a little bit sensitive to every
Yeah,
single crazy disaster going on.
right.
Me, myself, I would deal with press releases, and knowing that some press release agencies are just a little bit finicky when it comes to cryptocurrencies, they try,
Hmm.
it can be a little bit challenging, but absolutely. Wonderful.
Right. Yeah.
We have another question from Shadow Storm. Most people judge a project by its token price. That is true, sadly.
Hmm.
So, what is your plan to maintain the token price? Will there be some kinds of burning or buyback program? Thank you, Alex, for asking.
Cool. So to answer your question, so as I said, the game itself and the core concept itself is based on Bitcoin, right? The mining process of Bitcoin. So we don't want to introduce any burning mechanism, because the total maximum supply itself is same like Bitcoin, right? 21 million. So we don't want to introduce any burning mechanism. But buyback programs, yes, that's something on our roadmap. So I cannot currently answer to that, whether we are gonna do that or not, but it's definitely on the roadmap, and we are definitely thinking about buyback program. Okay,
Wonderful.
so to maintain the token price, that's something we are not planning to do, right? So we are not the ones who should decide what the token price should be, though even though we are the founders. It's a decentralized thing, right? So I don't want to centralize it. I don't want to control the market. Also, we are not holding the maximum tokens, right? It's up to the public, up to the players to decide, like, okay, all these tokens are being released through this game, and we are not holding the maximum number of tokens. We are only holding like 4.6% of the tokens.
I
So
did notice that. I was going to ask you a question a little bit later about that, but definitely that was really interesting. I think you made a really good point about not doing any burning mechanism and but considering a buyback program instead.
yes.
I remember, I think it was like a year and a half ago, where like the Stellar Foundation considered burning a lot of stellar lumens, the XLM, I
Hmm.
believe, and there was a small little pump in the very short term, but long term, you didn't really
Yeah.
see like a significant like change in price, and
Right.
that was a little eye opener for me. I'm thinking, okay, well, as much
Look,
as burn,
that's something I want to tell you, right? So, uh, recently, when you look at all the new tokens coming in, they're having like like quadrillion tokens or like more than that, right? So the total
That's
supply,
right.
which makes it look to the investors like the price is really cheap and you're accumulating like millions and billions of coins or
Mhm.
tokens, right? Like
That's right.
it gives you some kind of boost. Oh wow, I hold like millions of tokens. But when you really look at it, it doesn't really matter whether the number of tokens you're holding are too high or not. The price itself is like really really low. So when you compare it, like the burning mechanism is like, okay, we're burning this many tokens, so suddenly your token value grows like 10% or 50% or 100%, right? So this is something I as an investor, doesn't really look good to me, but it's
Mhm.
up to the public to decide. Okay, if it also depends on each token, right? So
Mhm.
not every token which has a lot of supply and really low price are really good ones, right? So something to think about. So for our project, yeah, we went with the exact token supply of Bitcoin, and we are maintaining the same properties because that's how our game works, so it has to match.
Absolutely, definitely. I think that's a great concept. Some of the big projects out there, they also have the same philosophy: no burning mechanism, but just a buyback. Absolutely.
Right.
We have another question. They're just coming in now. Muhammad, thank you for asking your question. What major partnerships does Bitcoin intend to use, or how does your project bring its products to the average consumer, especially non-crypto? This is a little bit challenging. Sorry for the curveball. Um, Harsha, any comments that anything that
Okay,
you can disclose?
so one thing
If
I
you
will
can't, you
disclose
understand.
is, no, one thing I want to let you know is like we are a startup business, right? So which is called Webiverse Technologies. That's the company which is going to provide you the crypto bunny game, right? So we have a partnership with another company called Sameda Technologies, which is the actual token creator, right? So the Bitcoin token, we gave the contract to Sameda Technologies to build this for us. So these two companies are working with each other. So that's the only partnership we currently have. And we are thinking about bringing in investors, but I cannot talk anything about it. And I don't want to give hopes or anything like that before it actually happens.
That's
So that's all I can
respectable.
answer.
Absolutely, I totally understand. Should not mention any names until that's properly can be disclosed.
Right.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you very much for asking, Muhammad. Moving on. So, since it's a game, so we do have another question. I'm just going to hold off on mine. Fan DeFi is asking, can you briefly outline some of the utilities of the Bitcoin token in respect to its use cases and how beneficial it'll be to holders in the long term? Interesting.
Okay.
So perhaps you can mention a little bit about your roadmap, your future roadmap of your game. Where do you see the game in the next
Mhm.
few years? Where do you want to take it? What kind of features you're going to add?
Okay, so Bitcoin is, as I said, it's gonna be earned through the game, right? So it's a game reward token. So you're gonna earn these rewards, right? Which you can just trade as a cryptocurrency on the exchanges. But on our roadmap, we have something that we want to do with Bitcoin itself, right? So introduce Bitcoin for the upcoming games as a currency, right? So crypto money is the game where you earn Bitcoin rewards, but Bitcoin itself, we are gonna integrate to our other games. That's the roadmap. I'm letting you know that's on the roadmap. You can check it out on our website. So that's what we are planning to do. So use Bitcoin as a game token in other games that we are gonna come up with.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, there you have it, Fan DeFi. All right, moving on. So, since it's a game, could you kindly tell me a little bit about what kind of genre it falls under? What kind of gameplay should players expect? I'm assuming some of the people who are listening in right now still haven't tried Bitcoin yet.
Hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
fight
So
monsters? Do you fight other players? Yeah, anything they can share.
yes. I mean, you need to compete with other players, right? It's a multiplayer game. It's a casual multiplayer game. It's not like uh, player versus player game, right? Where you are like fighting with one player at a time and like, oh, you win or I lose or whatever that is. No, no. In this game, we have all the players thrown inside a block, right? The blockchain is being mined, the current block is being mined. So whoever is joining the game are thrown into this block and asked to, okay, start mining. Go ahead, start mining. But do the other players let you mine as easily as you want to mine? That's a whole new thing, right? Because they can use their powers, they can steal your rewards, some of them. So these things I don't want to reveal the whole thing right now, right away, but
Mhm.
that's how the game is going to be. Like, you can fight with other players, you can have strategies. So okay, you can attack a specific player because you think that player holds a lot of rewards and you might get a share of those rewards. So you can start defending yourself once you have like, oh, I already mined so many bitcoins, right? So many rewards, right? So then I need to be cautious. Okay, before this whole block is mined, if somebody attacks me, I'm gonna lose like a percentage of my earned rewards to that player. So it's better I have some defenses in place. So these are kind of strategies that you can use in the game. So yeah, that's how the game is going to be. So competitive, like, you need to compete with other players to earn more rewards.
Sounds like there's a lot of strategy involved. Yeah, I think that might just really appeal to a lot of like kids who are interested in those strategy games, who like to
Right,
who have to figure out, and you get that dopamine adrenaline rush since you have tokens on the line that you don't want to
right,
lose,
right.
while at the same time
Yes.
trying to gain the most.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Moving on, I did notice that there are two different tokens involved with your project. You got the Bitcoin token and the CB token.
Okay.
What's
So
what? Yeah, how
that's
do they relate?
I just want to clarify that there are no two tokens. It's
Oh,
only Bitcoin token.
okay, so
But
just one
this,
token.
yeah, CB coins is nothing but crypto bunny coins, right? Which is in game. So when you're playing it, you're not directly earning Bitcoin right there. You need to withdraw. You need to convert these game tokens to Bitcoin and withdraw to your wallet, right? So in the game itself, we have this coins that you earn, which are really valued nothing unless you convert them to Bitcoin and withdraw to your wallet, right? So the things we show in the game, right? So you're earning this many CB coins in the game. So okay, the block is mined, or you're in the middle of the block and you want to just exit mining process and come out and just withdraw your Bitcoin, right? What you need to do is like, each CB coin is worth some of Bitcoin, right? So I want to withdraw my 100 Bitcoin tokens that I earned for the past few blocks by mining the blocks in the game, right? So you'll see CB coins inside the game saying that, okay, these many coins you have in the game. And then you will know the real value of those CB coins into Bitcoin. When you try to withdraw, you'll go to the withdraw screen where you'll paste your Bitcoin wallet address, and you'll see the exact conversion rate of these CB coins to Bitcoin and how many Bitcoin you're going to receive. So Bitcoin is the only token that is actually a cryptocurrency token. CB coins is like in-game coins which are not really having any value unless you're converting it to Bitcoin.
Okay, wonderful. That's really clear. Just for like a moment, I did thought if you're going to make your own blockchain, you're going to have your own coin that you use to pay for gas. And what is this CB
Right,
coin? That makes total more sense.
right,
So that also makes a lot of sense considering the fact that every single time you play the game, you're not always making a transaction just to do one
mm-hmm.
attack or defend. And the
Right,
whole gameplay is really smooth. And whenever you have to actually make a transaction to to cash out, and then you swap for Bitcoin tokens. That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
We have a question from Mr. Bro Tuan. Can we stake Bitcoin? So
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that right now, but that's something we are discussing with our partners. So currently, we are in discussions whether there is any impact to the game or the token itself if we go with staking. But yeah, we are in the middle of discussions about this staking Bitcoin. So I don't have
if
an
you
answer
add
for that. I'm
stake,
sorry.
it's okay, all good. I think adding a whole staking function might just start competing with the whole play to earn model, because the whole point is to play to actually earn instead of stake to earn. That's just staking at that point. But
Yeah, as I
absolutely,
said, we need to consider the impact on the game itself and the existing token. So we uh, we will think about it. We'll have more discussions about it, and we'll see if it's really uh, worth it to include staking, or if we can really go for staking without impacting the game itself.
yeah, because definitely don't want to sacrifice your players, especially those
Yeah,
who are doing this like day in day out.
right.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Moving on, I noticed that your project is deployed on Binance Smart Chain. Is there any particular reason why you chose that chain to deploy yours? Mhm.
Uh, I mean, Binance is the most popular smart chain currently, and also when compared with Ethereum, the price, the gas fee is really, really low, right? I mean, we need to consider those things because when you let the players play the game and earn the rewards, and they want to withdraw something, and we, if we have like huge fees, and I mean, if you're trying to withdraw like 0.01 Bitcoin and the fee itself is too high for it, it doesn't make sense, right? So BSE, it really resolved that issue by having really low fees. And we also need to think from our end, right? Whenever we are trying to transfer these tokens from the game wallet to the player's wallet, like it could be a whole lot of wallets, right? Every time a block is mined and people are trying to withdraw, so we have to we have it integrated already, but we also need to consider these fees that the transfer has to happen every time for these multiple wallets. So it's the fee is the main thing, and the other thing is it's easier for us to create the token on Binance Smart Chain, and also it's a popular smart chain. So that's the reason we went with BSC.
Absolutely. Wonderful. That reminds me of DeFi Summer 2022. Just to make one transaction, I think I spent almost close to 100 US dollars, and that
Hmm.
was really painful. But
So
thinking back, was it really worth it? Was not. Did I really need to make that transaction? If things were
yeah,
only cheaper, but I did see a whole bunch of immigrate projects immigrating to Binance Smart Chain, and that definitely
yeah.
made a big difference.
Well,
Made
with
DeFi workable.
Ethereum, especially with Ethereum, right? I have different wallets where small amounts of Ethereum are stuck there because I can't really withdraw it
Yeah,
because the
there goes your Ethereum.
right.
I'm in the exact same boat. I get what you mean. We have
Okay.
another question from Sele Boom. Tell us a little about security. Have you done an audit of the platform? So in this case, have you done an audit of the smart contract? Are
Mhm.
you the smart contracts error free? What are the test results?
Yes. So you can find our audited smart contract on our website. It will take you to the GitHub link where you can either download or look at the PDF with all those results. So we have been audited by Contract Checker. So we are also KYC verified with them. So you can find both those certificates and all the test results, the security of it, everything you can find it. So once you open bitcointoken.com, you can see that on the top, the button audit report. So you can click that, you can see all the results yourself.
Wonderful. So, Sele, hopefully you got your answer there. Absolutely. Never hurts to have more than one audit, but compared to all these
Right.
other smart contracts
Look,
out there who
I
don't
mean,
even
we
have any?
have our budgets, right? Because we have been spending on the development, we have been spending on marketing, we have been spending on exchange listings. So we need to have some kind of budget, and like we can't throw all our money at everything. And I mean, initially at least, because we are putting all this money ourselves, right, from the company, and we are not bringing like crowdfunding or anything. We didn't do anything with that. All the money we are spending is from our company itself. So it's our own investment. So we need to have some kind of budget. So, okay, whether we should really have multiple auditings or all this stuff or not. So, yeah,
Mhm.
we are maintaining that budget currently, but moving forward, we will think about having multiple auditings or any other
Absolutely.
investments.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, definitely. Start being a star off is definitely tough. Unless you get like a huge VC backing, like it's really difficult to get like
Right.
a whole bunch of audits.
Yes.
But
Right.
definitely, I've known a whole bunch that doesn't even have any audits. So, a little bit goes a long way. Definitely.
Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So that's Sele. Hopefully, you're satisfied with your question. I believe we have another question from Hector. Uh, Users often care less about technology rather than the value of token. How does Bitcoin manage to strike a balance between developing technology and improving value of the token? That's a interesting. I'm not too sure how this
Uh,
specifically applies to GameFi, but yeah, do you got
right.
any insight on this?
Yeah. I think I kind of answered this before. Like, so we are not implementing or we are not improvising the existing technology, right? So we are kind of consumers of the existing technology, which is blockchain, and the existing BSC, right? So we are just a token creator, and we chose what functions in the smart contract we really need for our game and which ones we don't need for our game, right? So that's where we decided in the smart contract itself that, okay, we don't want the burning function, just remove this function. We don't want to mint more tokens because this is a fixed supply. So we are consumers. We are not really coming up with our own blockchain. We are not really messing with the existing technology and making it more advanced or something like that. We are just utilizing the existing technology, and we are not making it hard or complex for the users, thinking, hey, we came with this new technology, check it out. And that, like, 90% of them don't understand. Oh, what are they talking about? What are they trying to do? Something new here? Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. Or like, oh, some people are like, oh wow, this is a whole new technology, but is it really apt for your project? Right? Come on. Right? So
Absolutely.
you need to choose which ones you want to go with and which one really suits for your project, and use that technology, right? So
Yeah, definitely. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. With that being said,
right.
like new technology is usually untested technology, and a lot of people might not be aware of this, but just because you're using something new, it doesn't mean it's actually safer. And when you're dealing with smart
Mhm.
contracts, the simpler the smart contract is actually the safer, because the moment you start adding making your smart contract more and more complex, and there's a lot
Yeah.
more potential
Yeah.
vulnerabilities.
Yeah, vulnerabilities. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
vulnerabilities. So you need to be really
Yeah.
careful when you're messing with the smart contracts. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, any small little loopholes, especially when you're adding more features, it could be it could be challenging. So definitely,
Mhm.
less what you need is the best when it comes to smart contract.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Hector, for asking. Let's move on. Do we have another question? Not Yeah, let's move on. So I did take a look at your tokenomics, and it was a really interesting setup. Could you tell me a little bit about why you decided to choose with that specific tokenomics, and anything particular about its longevity, the game's longevity?
Yeah, sure. So, exact same supply as Bitcoin, right? So,
Mhm.
same thing. And as I said, like, we wanted to have a, a percentage of tokens for our team, right? So which is we went with some interesting things, right? So as I said, uh, it's believed that Satoshi Nakamoto mined 1.125 million bitcoins. So that's the exact amount we set aside for the token sale, initial token sale, and for the team, right? So the rest of the tokens, and also because of the way we designed the game, so everything has to come into circulation by playing the game, which is like mining the blocks, right? How exactly Bitcoin works right now, right? So you're mining Bitcoins, you're getting those Bitcoins into circulation, right? So ultimately, the 21 million will be reached in 2140 the year, it's believed. So it's a long time from now still to have the whole 21 million bitcoins into circulation. So we wanted to have the same thing but within the game, but a little faster, because we are starting late, right? So Bitcoin started in like way back in 2009 or something, right? So we're starting our game in 2023. So we want to make the blocks mined a little faster than Bitcoins, so that we get a lot more into circulation a little faster, but not too way too fast, right? So that's how we created this tokenomics. Exactly, as much as possible we followed the same Bitcoin values: the supply, the initial circulating supply, the maximum supply, and no burning, no minting. So all these things.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of the blocks, Bitcoin blocks, you tend to take more or less 10 minutes.
Yes.
Is one game is one game usually about 10 minutes itself, or are you trying to make just a little bit faster?
Just a little bit faster than
Okay,
that. So
because you might have to get off the train within the 10 minutes playing the
right.
game.
So it's,
Yeah.
it's it's the same thing, right? So after every 210,000 block, the block reward gets half, right? So the game will have the similar thing, right? So initially, you'll earn a lot more rewards when you start playing the game early, right? So whoever comes in early get rewarded highest, right? With Bitcoin itself too. With Bitcoin itself too. People who started mining in early 2009, 2010, they were like, okay, they had their advantages, right? So they got more bitcoins easily and faster. But when you look at Bitcoin right now, start mining it. Okay, don't tell me that.
It's
So
a lot more
it's
challenging.
yeah, you need a lot more power, and you earn a really low rewards because the rewards get halved. So the same process is in the game. So the block rewards get halved every certain number of blocks are mined. So we'll have the same logic implemented. The difficulty, the halving of rewards.
So there is a
So
halving of rewards. How long is the halving?
well, it's like every 210,000th block in Bitcoin, but with our game, we had to have a different logic in place, not exactly 210,000th, but we had to consider how many players are inside the block, how faster the previous block got mined. So this is kind of an algorithm or like this logic that we had to implement in the game. So I cannot tell you the exact halving block
Of
number
course.
currently, but so it will happen, and it continues like until the last Bitcoin is mined, just like Bitcoin. Goes on, and the rewards get halved after every, like, it's considered like every
That's
four
definitely less
years
than
or
4 years
something like,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, that's definitely makes it somewhat deflationary actually. Yeah, so
Mhm.
that's something look interesting to follow up and look forward to. Yeah, wonderful. We
So
do have a
that's how the price also works, right? And it's
that's
becoming harder and harder to earn bitcoins, the price should proportionately uh, sync up to that.
Mhm. Yeah, same thing as Bitcoin. Absolutely.
Yes.
We have another question from Mr. Farouk Hossein. I think NFT is really going stupendous and popular at the moment. What is your opinion? At the moment, what is your opinion regarding NFTs?
Okay.
Is
So
your project going to have any NFTs involved, or maybe an NFT connection, maybe down the road?
okay, let me be honest with you. So I got into NFTs, I think, a long time ago. The first, one of the first, or yeah, one of the first things. I think it's from Canada. It's called CryptoKitties. That was way back somewhere in 2015, 2016. I can't remember, but I was one of the early investors in that. Right, so it was going crazy. It was like all over the news, and like, wow, somebody sold one crypto kitty for like $1 million or something. Like, it was going crazy. But when you look at crypto kitties right now, it's dead. Right, it's
Yeah,
there's
pretty
nothing.
much.
They minted a lot of NFTs, like so many. They gave the option to the players or the users to uh, breed their kitties and create new kitties with new properties. But ultimately, what's the purpose of it, right? There should be a purpose for NFTs. And I for this particular project, I think we didn't want to go with NFTs at all, because for now it didn't really make sense for us to introduce NFTs into this Bitcoin blockchain mining game. So that's not uh, we thought about. That's not we didn't really want to implement, especially in this game. But we are thinking about, or we actually have a separate project going on for NFT, which is totally different, not related to this game. So I just want to be clear that no, we're not going with NFTs for this particular project, but we are working on a separate NFT project which has different use cases, and we believe it's really worth going for NFTs for that particular project. So for now, no NFTs involved
Yeah,
in this game.
well, wonderful. Definitely don't want to overcomplicate things.
Mhm.
Absolutely. We have another question. I believe it's our 10th one. Uh, it's Mr. Toon. If Mr. Toon, it says, what are the attractive features in your project? What is the vision and goals in your project that you want to achieve in 2022 and beyond? I
Okay.
believe you guys got listed on XD.com just last Wednesday on the 14th. So that's definitely a big milestone.
Right. So yeah, initially we thought with going with Dex, right, Pancake Swap, but
Mhm.
it's you need to provide liquidity there. Like you can add your tokens and you provide like BNB or something equivalent amount, and you do that things, right? But how long can we do that, right? If new people are coming in providing some liquidity in Dex, that really makes sense. But uh, in this project it didn't really make sense for us to go with Dex, so that's the reason we got listed on xt.com, and it's really going really well. So so far so good. So uh, another thing, okay, attractive features that the question is about. Attractive features in your project is right. So it's a multiplayer game, as I said before, and there are some features that will really make the game a lot of fun to play. So you'll see that. And we are planning to release the game in February 2023. It's currently under testing. We have it on test flight on Apple, and we are having this test mode in Play Store, that we have a bunch of testers testing. And there is some improvisations going on. We are adding new kind of animations, new graphics, and that's what currently is being done with the game. And as I said, yes, we are planning to release in February 2023 on both Android and iPhone, Play Store and App Store. And also, there is a roadmap. You can check it out on our website, bitcointoken.com. So you'll see what else we are planning to do and what we achieved so far already and what we are trying to achieve.
Wonderful. Yeah, the February 2023, that's like 2.5 months from now. So
Yes.
that's something, excuse me, I believe that's 2 months, 2 months, within 2 months. So definitely
Right.
big, really, that's coming up really soon. I think that's something to
Yes.
definitely look forward to.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I believe we've asked 10 different participant questions, but we do have a whole bunch more. Probably going to last us quite a while.
Wow.
Let's see if you have any questions that you're interested in answering. Would you like to choose a few questions that piques your interest? So I believe we have a whole bunch here. If you look in the top right, there's all the public comments.
Okay.
So if you go to you can see the comment section. We have a whole bunch of different.
Right. Okay.
So we did choose a few over here. We do have a whole bunch of other ones. Which one seems interesting to you? I do see a few pretty interesting ones, but I don't want to throw any curveballs at you.
Okay, so somebody is asking, can you tell us about the background and experience of your project development team?
So what's the person's name? Maybe my moderator can pull that up.
It's Cow or Chow. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
No
Caolun.
Okay, so perhaps my moderator can fetch that question up, and we can show it on screen. Yeah, I see it. Let me see if I can. I'll show it. There we go. Okay. Can you tell us about the background and experience of your project development team, and how will they carry out your project during the current pandemic? Ooh, I think that's kind of tricky because, like, in certain parts of the world, the pandemic is still continuing. So I guess this question could possibly be region specific. Not everyone gets Moderna or Pfizer shots, unfortunately. But yeah, any specific?
So I just wanted to answer the first question. So
Sure,
the pandemic, I'm not sure about that because it's not really impacting us in any way currently, at least for us. So so the background and experience of the project development team, right? So as I said, I have been a software developer and software architect for quite a long time. So I have been I started initially with I am into computer science, right? So my bachelor's is in computer science, my master's is in computer science, and especially in software development, right? So I started as a software developer, turned into software architect, and then I started up this company called Webiverse Technologies, and I have a partner in Webiverse Technologies who is also one of the founders. So he has a vast experience in software development. So we are from computer science background. We are into software development since quite a long time, and that's the team which started this company. And now, when it comes to development, we have Unity game developers, right? We have this graphic designers, animators. So we have a whole team, and we also have contractors, right? So for a few things, we wanted to just hire another contractors from other companies, right? So yeah, we do have a big team, and everything is going great so far, and all the development and design works are really coming out great. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. So Webiverse Technologies is the game development company for this Crypto Bunny game. So yep, that answers your question, I guess.
Okay, wonderful. Absolutely. I believe we do have just a little bit more time for one more We have to choose a whole bunch of questions now, and perhaps we
Okay.
can answer the remaining questions in Telegram since we're slowly running out of time. So perhaps you could go down the list, and if you could star like maybe 9 different questions. I believe if you put your cursor over the questions, you'll see a star on the top right. You can just star 9 specific ones, and 9 lucky participants will actually receive a small little farewell gift. Yeah, directly into your XT.com account
So,
from the prize pool. So if you see any 9 remaining good questions,
is it from the private chat or
oh
from the
no, from the
comments?
comments, from the
Okay.
comments. So if you click on the comments and you go to the live column on the left side, you can, when you put your cursor over the questions, you see a star on the top right. And you can just click on the 9 different questions and star them, and my moderator will handle the rest so that the lucky participants will actually see a nice little Christmas gift in their XT.com account.
I'm not seeing the star when
So if you
I.
put your cursor over one of the questions, it'll actually change. You'll see a little star, on the empty star on the top right. So
Not seeing that yet.
okay. Well, since all the questions are already recorded on YouTube Live, so what we can do is we can easily go back into the video and we can pick out the questions after this, and then we can actually just tell the users directly in the Telegram group that they actually won. They did get chosen. So perhaps that's one of a workaround. Yeah, so we can actually pick the 9 for you. That'll just kind of make life a little bit easier.
Okay.
Yeah, don't want to overcomplicate things with the back end work. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Harsha. Hopefully everyone had an opportunity to listen in on this new exciting project. And remember, the app is going to go live in next year, February. So definitely be sure to download it, go check it out, and hopefully got your questions submitted. We will be choosing the questions for the winning participants shortly, and they will be disclosed in the Telegram group. So definitely stay tuned and listen in next time for more of our AMAs. All right. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, Harsha. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Ciao.